We are delighted to have you all join us once again as we continue our exploration of this fascinating topic.
Sorry, hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, Miss H.
I can't hear you. I'm going through some technical problems.
No
Just
issues,
give
no
me a
issues.
second. I just want to solve it. I'll log out and log in again.
Please continue, Miss Bashpa.
Yes, sir. Indeed, it's wonderful to see familiar faces and new participants joining us today. We hope you had a restful day and are ready to dive into another session filled with valuable insights and discussions.
Exactly, Tia. Today again we have an exceptional lineup of speakers who bring a wealth of knowledge and practical insights to our table. So without further delay, let's introduce our esteemed speakers for today's session.
Our first speaker is Professor Sunita Hedge, expert in multiple domains with decade plus years of corporate career, experienced HR leader and entrepreneur, presently pursuing her passion for teaching as a business law professor. This fits into her desire to do work that is impactful personally to her and to society. In the past, she has held leadership positions in renowned multinational companies. She uses all that experience in assisting organizations for enhancing efficiency and effectiveness through structured training programs and effective appraisal programs through her company, Strump Management Services.
Our next speaker is none other than Mr. Kunal Hunch, who is a visionary entrepreneur and founder of Momos Wala, a successful startup. In addition to his culinary venture, Kunal also spearheads Rekla, an innovative online platform revolutionizing the service industry. Rekla provides end-to-end household and professional services, connecting customers with trusted professionals of various needs, from plumbing and electric work to event management and many more. The platform ensures quality, convenience, and cost effectiveness while empowering service providers with training, incentives, and growth opportunities. The focus on Tier 2 to Tier 6 cities, Rekla is poised to capitalize on the burgeoning 100 billion service industry. Kunal's leadership and strategic vision are indeed driving Rekla's aggressive expansion, aiming to create a transformative ecosystem in the service sector. As a seasoned entrepreneur, Kunal's passion for innovation, customer satisfaction, and community empowerment continues to inspire and drive his endeavors.
Next up, we have Mr. Mustafa Misri. Mustafa Misri has a professional IT experience of 11 plus years. He has had the opportunity to design and implement complex IT software applications for multiple clients across USA. His path in this industry has been characterized by a desire to learn about the newest developments in software development and IT services management technologies, as well as a tireless pursuit of excellence. He earned a Bachelor of Technology in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University and Masters in Computer Science from USA in the year 2012. Post-masters, he started his professional career and completed projects with different clients. He has worked with prestigious companies during his career, such as Ventoys, Kport, Metrics Corp. And while working with these companies, he worked with different clients such as Deloitte, HP, KinderCare, Charles Schwab, AAA, Centene, FIS. In his most recent position, he designed and implemented customer communication management application by analyzing functional needs that drive the analysis and technical design of quality technical solutions, recommend solutions that are aligned with business or IT strategies, and complies with corporate architectural standards by studying business operations and user interface requirements. He has received several honors for his exceptional achievements, especially in software development and project execution. In addition to this, his to his professional positions. These honors provide witness to his commitment to excellence in his field as well as the value he has added to the organizations he has worked with. He has a broad range of technical skills, including strong knowledge of OpenText Extreme, Cloud Native, Commander Center, Trio, Empower, um, Communication Builder, PDF, AFP, On Demand, and SOAP Connector, and so on.
Next up, we have Mr. Manish Murmu, who is a passionate entrepreneur, creative storyteller, and football enthusiast from Jharkhand. He is the founder of Mesoka, an innovative platform that empowers mess owners to streamline their grocery orders and maximize profits through data-driven insights. He is also the co-founder of Camaringo Pictures, a production house focused on capturing and sharing the stories of love and life through the art of visual storytelling. Additionally, he also serves as the co-founder of Seringsa, a platform dedicated to celebrating and uplifting tribal talent, culture, and heritage from the heart of Jharkhand. Beyond the world of business, he is a football pundit, building a thriving community of football fans in Jharkhand and promoting the game among tribal players. Through their platform, Football Fans Jharkhand, they organize live screenings and foster a sense of unity and passion for the sport.
Next, we have Dr. Rajesh Khanna working as a professor mechanical head skills center and USIC center in MMDU, involved in teaching, research, administrative work, mentoring, and accreditation work of NACC AISHE, member of Board of Study, PTU, MMDU, guided 24 MTech and 1 PhD, published more than 50 papers in various national and international journals, 2 patents published, 1 DST project worth 25.5 lakhs, 1 Modrobe of 10 lakhs, performed various duties of NTA and SBCE as observer, organized many times examination in the university, previously NSS coordinator of MMDU for 5 years, organized mega festival of AIU and other inter-university festival of grand levels as a co-convener and organizing secretary. Worked as a deputy director IQAC for 2 years in DAV University and 5 years in DAV University as a associate professor and headship for 2 years. Spent 6 months in industry as a CNC engineer, involved in setting up the new labs and curriculum development for Skill Center of MMDU.
Our final speaker for today is none other than Mr. Monish Bhandari, who is the founder, chairman, and managing director of Forstra Medtech Private Limited. He has 35 plus years of experience in medical industry, leading. He is also certified chartered engineer with 35 plus years of rich exposure in biomedical equipment and various technological expertise. He is actively involved in research methodologies of sterilization domain. Monish Bhandari has written 11 research papers, 15 journal articles, and 8 patents. At the age of 20, he is the country's youngest manager at Siemens Limited. We are grateful for all of your present speakers and anticipate your valuable insights and contributions to today's conference. We would also like to inform all of the audience as well as our panelists that the HR team will be conducting polls in the chat box throughout the session. We encourage active participation from everyone. Moving ahead, I would like to invite Professor Sunitha Hedge to share her perspectives. Yeah, am I audible, Ms. Sunitha? Is Professor Hedge in the meeting, Ms. Vajpayee?
I can't see her.
You should call her once. Maybe she is having a network issue, as you just mentioned. Until then, we can move with the next speaker.
Sure. I would like to invite Mr. Mustafa Misri to please comment his speech.
Thank you. Yeah. Am I audible?
Sure, you're audible.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. First of all, thanks to the sponsors for giving me this opportunity to talk on failure and resilience in entrepreneurship. My name is Mustafa, and thank you for the lovely introduction. I'll quickly share my screen.
Sure, Firdaus.
Okay. So today we'll be talking about the compliance and efficiency for the software that I work on, the role of open text extreme power in consumer communication management. So we'll be covering two agendas today: consumer communication and the regulatory challenges that we have. So starting with what is this Empower? So it's an open text extreme. Empower is an interactive document solution for composition of different documents templates. So it's basically a software which is a browser-based interface which lets the end user edit the documents, and this has been designed in Extreme Designer and published in the production. So we do have this already in production, which generates n number of letters for the customers. So this is being used in various businesses, be it insurance companies, be it any medical field, any consumer fields. So they use this to create the orders, to print the orders and whatnot. So why these interactive documents? Because it streamlines the business process to customer interaction, and its effective customer communication has been immensely uh, appreciated, and it has been used by multiple customers. So, and it also does reduce the cost and improves the consistency. Example, like if there is an insurance company, when they create the claim, they will definitely need, and they will have a necessity to edit the document on the fly when a customer calls in for a new policy or an existing policy to change it. So this gives them the freedom of doing that by using this tool. And then if there are any contracts that has to be created in between two parties, this can be used. And this has been used by multiple uh, multinational companies, and then HR forms and whatnot. So it includes a number of components, be it with the API. So there is a REST API call that will be made to control the functions such as importing the documents to the editor and opening documents in the editor interface. And also when we export the documents for fulfillment or for uh, generating the outputs that are expected. The next one would be Empower Server Console. So this is a browser based. So what it does is like it lets the administrator view and manage the documents. So somebody, if they want to view any documents, and if they want to manage it, be it editing or updating it, and then creating multiple versions of the same document. So this console gives them the freedom of doing that. And then there are different multiple service layers. So the collection of resources that supports Empower Editor in the console, which will include the API that handles communication between backend resources and the user-facing interface. And then we have the Empower Editor, which is of course the browser-based interface that lets the user preview and publish the document. So this is how the structure is. So we do have the design environment where the developers will be developing the templates, and then which will be called by the production environment. So that will have the package file, and then there will be an interactive engine and API calls that will create the PDFs. And they do have the multiple channel deliveries if the customer or the two different parties communicating wants that to be in an email, a text message, a print version of it, or a fax. Everything is included in this communication channels. And when the Empower Editor interacts with the engine, right? So what it does is like it imports the documents, and then it whenever the document is imported, there will be several API calls that will be made to the services. It will be saved in the repository. It will give us the option of preview, save, release, export, and create in different versions. Sorry. So speaking about the repositories, it does support multiple repositories where we can also use GitHub, Tortoise, TFS. So all these can be used for the repositories, and also the cloud environment that they have just introduced. It's called Cloud Native, where where all these can be saved. So uh, the applicable compliances and terminology and applicability. So there are like different acts that they have for which the applicable data and information should be available. So for an example, if there is a California Consumer Privacy Act, that is CCPA, for that they have California Citizens Data Global. So limitations and the information that is available for the public is limited based on these acts, and it does fall under the compliances. So it does follow all the compliance rules and the terminology that is getting used, be it FINRA, HIPAA, or anything. So how the data is how the privacy of the customers is maintained, and how the information security is maintained. What is sensitive information that will be from the customers? So we'll have intellectual property, protected health information that will have all the details about the customer name, address, its health records, the insurance, and everything. So if there is any other company, that will also have like employee information, and then all the social security details, or in India if we have Aadhaar card details, passport number, everything. So that is all that falls under the privacy and the sensitive information. So what it does is, like, any information that is related to an individual can be used to identify the individual, right? So be it a license number, name, address, email address. So there will be MSAs and NDAs that will be signed. So intellectual property is like copyright, patent, trademarks, trade secrets, industrial designs, geographical indications. So how the information is shared and classified is it is categorized into different categories, like sensitive, confidential, internally restricted, internal use, and public. So these are all the classes that we will be having, and it will be based on how sensitive the information is. That's how the data will be stored. Only the owner of the information will be seeing any sensitive information. So the owner of the information is solely responsible to define usage, the audience of the information, purpose, and user authority. So it's not available for public. It will be solely responsibility of the owner. And then the owner should permit to access the user request or whatever the business need might be. The owner should restrict the access to stated purpose by the requester only, and then the owner can only give the access to requester formally by requesting them via email or by sending them a request, whichever mode they accept the request in. So, and the owner is responsible for the final approval on the changes. So it's not available for public. It does have all the security steps. Information storage, it is the information that will be labeled as restricted or confidential should be safeguarded, not only while in use, but also when it is stored. So when it is stored in cloud, it does have all the security layers, because we have been seeing like sensitive information and breaches that happen. So here are a couple of graphs that I have posted. So what type of data types does get breach, data breach, and then also the security incidents in by countries where the most recent security breaches happen. And we need to protect the sensitive information. So risk associated with the sensitive information is like liability, privacy concerns, copyright violation, identity theft, resource violation, reputation protection, meet expectation, laws and regulation. So, what are the threats with sensitive information to company? So, it can be an accidental error, like a human error, carelessness, lack of security process. So, every company should go through the process so that we can avoid any human errors. Uh, be it any training, new trainees, new joinees that join the IT firms, any new company that is coming in market, they should also uh, fall. They should also follow the regulations and the compliance so that it is beneficial for them as well as for the employees as well, so that they don't fall into any of these traps, any malicious like internal or external attack. Mostly this is in the companies, it is through the emails, so they do send links, and then if you click on that link, it will ask for your personal information, which will in turn give them the personal information that might be an easy way for them to breach the data and to do any identity theft. So we just have to be very careful about that. Internal attacks is something that gets originated inside an organization. That's an insider job, but we can avoid this by following the regulations that is in the market. And the external attacks, of course, originating from outside. What do? They, when they have the information, they sell this and leaked information in dark sites, and that's how they earn from that. So we just have to protect our sensitive information. So minimum necessary data limited set, that's what we have to set, and we have to safeguard our information. We have to make sure that our workforce is capable and is following the all the rails rules and regulations. And at times there has to be audits and inspection requirements and system acceptable usage. When the system can be used, how it should be used, and everything that has to be taken care of in the business also, be it any business. We will definitely need the IT resources. So you just have to follow all these protocols. So the regulatory challenges, how do we mitigate those? To overcome this, academia and scientists can collaborate. Few recommendations that I can come up with: joint publications and conferences to make awareness, collaborating on risk management, creating a bridge between technology advancement and legislation, and invest in secure software solutions. So all software should always be secure. It should have good security, and then it should establish clear software usage policy, and then it should ensure there is a transparency on what is going to be done. Well, thank you, and let me know if any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Mustafa. That was a really insightful speech. And I would request you to please share your email in the chat box if any of our audience has any questions, or if they seek any, further information, they can reach out to you.
Sure.
Let's welcome our next speaker, Ms. Sunita Hedge, and I request her to comment her speech.
Hello, everyone. Hope I'm audible to you.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I'm very new to this Google Meet kind of a stuff. So, will you let me know how do I actually share my presentation? Present now. So,
Yeah, Dr. Head, I suggest to choose the square icon with the upper cursor, fourth from the right, and you can share your screen.
I think she got cut off from the meeting. Yeah, she joined
She
again.
joined. Is your network connection fine, Dr. H? She is having a network connection issue still here.
Yeah, I think she is.
I suggest to call another speaker to the podium and give her time to establish a network.
I think she's back.
Sorry, I don't know how I share it with you. Just a minute. I'm really finding it very.
Yeah, Dr. H, please choose the icon with the square
Just give me a
and
second.
upper cursor, fourth from the right. Am I audible, Dr. H?
I think she can't hear us.
I don't even have any help. So, well, without the presentation, I would like to go ahead. I'm Professor Sunita Hegde, and I kept you waiting for very long, and I feel very sorry about it. So, I was supposed to talk today about the business contracts, and I have been teaching business contracts for a while now. So, it's been almost 5 years I have been teaching business contracts to the entrepreneurs, and since you're all budding entrepreneurs who are seated here, it is my pleasure to talk to you guys about the business contracts. Now, when I talk about the business contracts is a way for the startups, in the sense when you start your business, you need to have your business in a legal framework. In India, you need to incorporate the business as per the Companies Act 1956. And of course, the new norms or the new evolution which has happened in the recent years has forced the companies to get into technical shift, and this shift has also affected the way we do the business, and hence the act was also changed in 2013. So now you see the Companies Act 2013 is the framework for the new businesses to get incorporated in India. Now, my talk today is about the business contracts. And the business contract, we still go ahead with a contract which was formed way back in 1857, if I'm not wrong. So the 1872, I'm sorry, because I don't have a presentation and I have a real technical problem. Now, 1872 Contract Act is followed for all the business contracts. Now, contract is something in which you have an agreement and then you have a legal obligation. That's what sets a business contract apart. That means in an agreement, you may have two people coming together to do an act, agree to do certain stuff. It may be something like I asking a friend of mine to join me for a movie. Tomorrow, if a friend of mine says that, okay, I join you for a movie tomorrow, and the person negates, what best you can do in this kind of a situation? Probably you get angry with the person, but you cannot lodge a complaint against your friend, because there is no legal obligation. It's just the love and affection that has forced you to keep quiet, right? Or otherwise, your friend might have gotten into a yes mode or obliged to say yes to you under the circumstances that he or she cares for you. But then the agreement has no legal obligation. When the agreement has the legal obligation, it becomes a contract. So, a contract essentially has three important elements: one is offer, one is acceptance, and one is consideration. If all these three elements are there in a contract, then the contract is a valid contract. If not, any one of the contract terms are missing, under that circumstances, the contract is called as void or a voidable contract. Now, let us think of a scenario, right? Say, for example, I'm just trying to differentiate between a void and a voidable contract. I said when we talk about a contract, we essentially talk about the three elements of the contract. That is, one is offer, one is acceptance, and one is consideration. Now, if these elements are not there in a contract, then the contract is either void or it is voidable. Now, there is a difference when it comes to a void contract and a voidable contract. So, a void contract is the one which can be turned void after making the contract due to the circumstances. It could be something like change in the policies, something like change in the compliance, basically, where both the parties are unable to perform the contract, the business contract. Whereas the voidable contract is the one in which one of the party actually does not want to perform the contract. Say, for example, a person who export roses from Bangalore to, say, one of the destination in Dubai. Now, a person who is exporting the roses, probably it is not affordable to him anymore. The business is not affordable to him anymore, and he wants to break the contract due to the inflation or his own certain reasons, right? And he wants to break the contract, and he tells the counterpart in Dubai saying that probably I am unable to export the roses to you anymore, basically because of the problem that I'm hit by the inflation, the present rates are not working, the contract is not working for me. So, at the instance of one of the parties in the contract is becoming voidable, or the in this particular voidable cases, aggrieved parties, say the party which is seated in Dubai, who is importing roses from India. I'm just giving a hypothetical situation here. So, if that party doesn't agree, they can lodge a complaint, in the sense they can file a case, because they become an aggrieved party. Whereas in case of a void contract, you cannot go to court saying that there is non-performance of a contract, basically because a contract is void if there is a contractual term which is missing. That means the contract is a void ab initio. That means it is not legal. From the beginning, the contract is wrong, or otherwise there is a change in the compliance which is making the contract void. So, these are the two situations, and there are different types of contracts. There are contracts, unilateral contracts, bilateral contracts. But when we define the contract under the Section 2H of the Contract Act 1872, we essentially require it to be a bilateral contract. That means in a business contract or a day-to-day contract as well, you need to have two parties. That means a contract has a set of promises flowing from an offerer to offeree and offeree back to the offerer. It is set of promises. And when the promises are not fulfilled, one of the aggrieved party can appeal to the court and get justice. Now, when I talk about the contract as set of promises, that means two parties who are involved in a legal contract, they need to abide by the contractual terms. For a contract to be enforceable in the court of law, the first thing is the element of the contract should be legal. You cannot make a contract on an illegal business. So your business has to be legal. Under that circumstances, it is a valid contract. Both the parties in the contract should be interested in a legal relationship. That means both the parties in a contract should understand term and conditions in the same way. The one is understanding it as apple, the other one is understanding it as orange, is not admittable. So both of them should be on the same page for the contract to be enforceable. And the third one is very important stuff. Both the parties in the contract should perform their contractual obligation. Under that circumstance, only the contracts are valid or the contracts are respected. If one of the party takes back or is unable to perform, it results in the breach of the contract. And the aggrieved party can reach out to the court for the help or to recover the damages which are caused due to the contract breach. So under the circumstances that the contract is unable to be performed, the person is unable to perform a contract. Say, for example, we had a situation like COVID, right? So the pandemic, nobody expected a pandemic to come and there will be a lockdown kind of a situation. So many businesses were affected in this particular situation and a whole lot of contracts were breached. Now, whom do you blame under this kind of a situation? So you cannot call it as a God's act. You would have seen the newspaper, few of the parties, they asked, because the businesses were not anticipating a situation like lockdown, and because of that, the situation was actually adversely affecting many businesses. So few of them said, let us call it as God's act, so that there is no breach of contract. Under the breach of contract, the damages needs to be borne by one of the parties. If you call it as God's act, now God's act is something like tsunami. Tsunami is a God's act. The natural calamities are the God's act. So these are the circumstances under which there is impossibility of performance of a contract. But when it comes to a pandemic kind of a situation, we cannot call it as a God's act, or it was not named as a God's act. However, wherever there is a breach of a contract, the courts have taken a stand to recover the damages for the parties which were genuinely susceptible to the damages under the pandemic kind of a situation. Now, as I told you, one of the situation is that you have a bilateral contract, which is a valid contract. Then there are tripartite contracts. And these are very rare contracts. And the best example for the tripartite contract is insurance contracts. Basically, because you have a TPA who is actually taking care of the insurer and the insuree's interests. So when a party in a contract decides that it is a voidable contract, what will happen to the third party in the contract? Because the third party is also dependent on the business. In an insurance contract, the TPA, they get the commission for managing the contract between the insurer and the insuree. So under this kind of a condition, the third party's interest will be guarded by the court. If they are under the damage, they can claim the damage. So this is more of a business contract. I'm very sorry that I was unable to show the presentation. Neither can I hear to you for any queries. If you have any queries, you can please post it to our SKAG group so that I can take up the staff questions, and I will share the presentation on the email for your benefit. Thanks a lot for your time and for bearing with me. Thank you. Thanks.
So thank you for your speech, Dr. H. Firstly, it was wonderful knowing the legal aspects of business too, especially from the contracts. And I had a small question for you, if you're there still, Dr. H.
I think she said that she can't hear us.
Okay. No issues, no issues. If you can just share your email ID in the chat box, Dr. H, it would be a pleasure as the rest of the participants could reach out to you for the queries. I guess you can take it from your Ms. Bajpayee. Would you like to take it over from your Ms. Bajpayee?
Yeah, sure. Uh, Thank you so much, Dr. Sunil. It was an amazing speech. Next, we have Mr. Kunal Hunch. I would please like him to comment his speech. Sir, you are on mute.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello, namaste, जोहार आप सभी का. आई एम कुणाल हंस एंड मैं फाउंडर हूँ मोमो वाला का. कैन वी कंटिन्यू इन हिंदी? मुझे लगता है ज़्यादा कनेक्ट करेगा लोगों को अगर.
Sure.
Sure, sir, why not?
या तो एक्चुअली बाय क्वालिफिकेशन मैं थोड़ा सा इंट्रोडक्शन देता हूँ अपने बारे में. बाय एजुकेशन क्वालिफिकेशन मैं एक सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर हूँ और आफ्टर सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर आई हैव डन माय स्टार्टअप रेकला नाम से, जिसमें ऑनलाइन होम सर्विसेज हम लोग प्रोवाइड करते थे. ऐप बेस्ड स्टार्टअप था वो. बट 3 साल के कड़ी मेहनत के बाद हम नहीं सक्सेस कर पाए उसको कन्वर्ट करने में एक बड़ा एंटरप्राइजेस में. एंड आफ्टर दैट फेलियर आई हैव एंटर्ड इनटू फूड एंड बेवरेजेस इंडस्ट्रीज में मैंने घुसा और मैंने रेस्टोरेंट और कैफे का इंडस्ट्री में 5 साल का एक्सपीरियंस गेन किया. और अभी मैं अपना ब्रांड लॉन्च किया हूँ लास्ट ईयर मोमो वाला नाम से, जो कि एक नाम से ही समझ में आता है कि मोमो सेंट्रिक ब्रांड है. और इसका डिफरेंशिएटर बोले या यूएसपी बोले ये है कि हम फ्रेंचाइजी देते हैं स्टॉल मॉडल का, मोमो स्टॉल का, और एक क्यूएसआर का, टेक अवे काउंटर का. और मेजर क्या है कि हम एक ऐसा बिजनेस अपॉर्चुनिटी लोगों को प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, एक पॉकेट फ्रेंडली और बहुत ही इफिशिएंट मॉडल है जो कि 1.25 लाख 1.5 लाख 3 लाख में एक अच्छा बिजनेस लोग अपना खड़ा कर सकते हैं. हर एक सपोर्ट मिलता है एंड टू एंड. उन्हें ना शेफ रखने की आवश्यकता है ना किसी चीज की, और अच्छा अर्निंग कर सकते हैं फॉर 50 to 60,000 इन अ मंथ. तो राइट नाउ पिछले 1 साल में हमें अच्छा रिस्पांस मिला है. ये स्टार्टअप एक झारखंड का है, कोर झारखंड का स्टार्टअप है. हजारीबाग और रांची से स्टार्ट हुआ है और अभी जमशेदपुर, धनबाद में मेरा आज ही एक सॉफ्ट लॉन्च हुआ है और 2 दिन बाद हम लोग वहाँ पे प्रॉपर लॉन्च करने वाले हैं, 2 से 3 दिन में, धनबाद आईएसएम के पास. तो आज ही मेरा 2 लॉन्च था, इसी कारण से मैं टाइम पे अटेंड भी नहीं कर पाया कॉन्फ्रेंस, सॉरी फॉर दैट. और कहीं ना कहीं मैं उसमें बिजी था टीम के साथ. बट हाँ, तो एक्चुअली मैंने फूड इंडस्ट्री में जो मैंने प्रॉब्लम्स देखा है कि ब्रांड अपने फ्रेंचाइज को ओवर प्राइस करके सेल आउट करते हैं. 15 लाख 20 लाख 25 लाख के फ्रेंचाइज देते हैं. आरओआई निकालना फ्रेंचाइजी के लिए बहुत टफ हो जाता है. कहीं ना कहीं फूड इंडस्ट्री सर्विस इंडस्ट्री है, उसमें फूड इंडस्ट्री में सर्विस है और स्टॉक का कुछ नहीं होता. आपका डिप्रिशिएशन बहुत हाई होता है और उस डिप्रिशिएशन के कारण अगर आप आरओआई आपका नहीं आ रहा है तो आपका कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट जो भी लगा है वो 1 साल में आपका 33% ही बचता है. तो हमने इस प्रॉब्लम को समझा, इस चैलेंज को समझा और एक कॉन्क्रीट बिजनेस मॉडल निकाला, जिस बिजनेस मॉडल से 1.20 लाख में मोमो स्टॉल का बिजनेस देते हैं हम एंड टू एंड फ्रॉम द स्क्रैच टू द लॉन्च. और एक मॉडल है हम QSR टेक अवे मॉडल है जो कि मेरा 2.90 लाख में है। उसमें हम मल्टीपल फूड आइटम्स और इन्वेंट्री सेल आउट करवाते हैं और उसमें अप्रोक्सीमेटली मेरा जो भी मॉडल है हम लोग 75% इन्वेस्ट करते हैं उन्हीं के बिजनेस में, सारा सेटअप देने में और बाकी मशीनरी इक्विपमेंट सपोर्ट ट्रेनिंग मैन पावर हर कुछ में, ब्रांडिंग मार्केटिंग सोशल मीडिया एवरीथिंग। तो मेरा हम लोग का पर्पस यही है कि हम एक सस्टेनेबल बिजनेस एक पॉकेट फ्रेंडली प्राइस या सस्टेनेबल प्राइस में दे, लोग प्रॉफिट कमाएं और हम जो इन्वेंट्री सप्लाई करते हैं उसी में हमारा मार्जिन होता है 25% जो हमारा प्रॉफिट होता है, रेवेन्यू होता है। हम रिकरिंग रेवेन्यू पे ही ज़्यादा फोकस करते हैं। हमारा पर्पस कभी नहीं है कि फ्रेंचाइजी फीस के नाम पे कस्टमर या फ्रेंचाइज को वन टाइम एक बार लूट ले या मार्केटिंग करके गिमिक करके बेचे और देन नो सपोर्ट एंड ऑल। तो अभी मतलब मुझे बताने की जरूरत नहीं है, बट मार्केट में बहुत ब्रांड ऐसा है जो आए थे एक टाइम पे और चले भी गए बहुत जल्दी, ठीक है। तो अगर टिकना है मार्केट में तो एक सस्टेनेबल मॉडल क्रिएट करना सबके लिए, अपने से पहले अपने फ्रेंचाइज के बारे में हम लोग सोचते हैं। अभी भी मैं राइट नाउ मेरा सिंह मोड़ में आज लॉन्चिंग हुआ है रांची सिंह मोड़ में, और मैं फ्रेंचाइज के साथ ही कनेक्ट किया हुआ था और उनको सारा कुछ समझा रहा था लॉन्च के बारे में। तो ये सब चीज हो रहा था। तो मेरा जो इंडस्ट्री में एक्सपीरियंस रहा है 4 से 5 साल, और स्टार्टअप में मैंने जो फेलियर फेस किया है पिछले स्टार्टअप से, और अपना जो मैंने लॉन्च किया था रेस्टोरेंट वो एक फ्रेंचाइजी ब्रांड का ही था। मैं नाम नहीं लूंगा बट वो एक फ्रेंचाइजी ब्रांड था, नॉर्थ ईस्ट का मोमोज का ही रिलेटेड था। उनके अकॉर्डिंगली मैंने 15 लाख इन्वेस्ट किया, बट मुझे बहुत चैलेंजेस फेस किया। मुझे कोई नॉलेज नहीं था फूड इंडस्ट्री का, और जो चैलेंजेस और सपोर्ट उनसे जो कमिटमेंट था सपोर्ट का वो हमें मिला नहीं। मैंने इन सब चैलेंजेस और फेलियर्स को कलेक्ट करके अपना क्रिएट किया, 4 साल का एक्सपीरियंस मैंने बनाया। एंड देन अभी राइट नाउ हम लोग का 16 स्टॉल एक्टिव है झारखंड में, और अराउंड कॉल आ रहा था, हाँ 16 स्टॉल एक्टिव है झारखंड में इंक्लूडिंग स्टॉल एंड QSR। और बस यही है, अभी हमारा विजन जो है वो पैन इंडिया जाने का है। वी आर फोकसिंग टू मतलब डाउन द लाइन आफ्टर 3 ईयर हम कम से कम 500 आउटलेट्स में अपने आप को देखते हैं एटलीस्ट। और हम होरेका में भी बहुत जल्दी मूव कर रहे हैं, अपना फ्रोजन आइटम्स में भी जा रहे हैं, और हमें ऑफर है बहुत जगह से, दुबई से भी। तो वहाँ भी हम लोग डाउन द लाइन आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग मेट्रोज इन इंडिया में जब मेट्रो सिटी में हम लॉन्च करेंगे देन हम लोग बाहर भी फोकस कर रहे हैं अपने ब्रांड को स्टैब्लिश करने का। और नो डाउट ये ब्रांड होल एंड सोल झारखंड का है। कहीं ना कहीं झारखंड का स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम वीक है, और ये अच्छा है कि अच्छा इनिशिएटिव है। नो डाउट कि लोग एटलीस्ट कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं, शेयर कर रहे हैं, डिस्कस कर रहे हैं आइडियाज पर, और एक नेटवर्क बन रहा है लोगों का। तो एक अच्छा इनिशिएटिव है। मुझे तो लास्ट स्टार्टअप में अवार्ड भी मिला था, इस स्टार्टअप में भी मिला है। अभी तो एक पॉलिसी क्रिएट किया गया गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से, लास्ट स्टार्टअप में मुझे अवार्ड मिला था 2018 में 19 में, बट कहीं ना कहीं कुछ कारण से वो टर्न आउट नहीं हुआ ग्राउंड में वो पॉलिसी उतना अच्छा तरीके से। बहुत स्टार्टअप जीते थे उसमें। इस साल भी हमें अवार्ड मिला है, अब वो पॉलिसी इंप्लीमेंट होगा हमारे ऊपर। तो दैट्स इट, हमें फूड स्टार्टअप है, और हमारा मेन फोकस ही है कि हमारे फ्रेंचाइज सस्टेनेबल दे, और जो प्रोडक्ट और क्वालिटी हम सर्व कर रहे हैं, मोमोज हो जाए या बर्गर हो, चिकन पॉपकॉर्न विंग्स, जो भी हमारा इन्वेंट्री हो, एक प्रॉपर क्वालिटी प्योर क्वालिटी विथ हाइजीन हम लोग सर्व करें, और अपने कस्टमर्स या जो भी कस्टमर्स हमारे होते हैं उनको हम अपना टेस्ट के लिए कभी भी कोई शिकायत ना हो, एक हाइजीन और एक प्रॉपर टेस्ट मेंटेन करके चले। तो दैट्स इट फ्रॉम मी, मतलब मेरी तरफ से यही है। कोई कुछ पूछना चाहे या कुछ बताना चाहे तो बता दूं।
Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Kunal, for such an amazing speech. It was really inspiring. Well, I have a question to ask you. So, like you said that you like faced a lot of challenges and like setbacks in your own journey, and I think the topic of the conference really can relate to that. So, I would like to ask that in your journey, what was the most challenging, phase?
थैंक्स फॉर द क्वेश्चन। बिल्कुल मैं चाहूंगा इस पे बताने का। कहा गया है कि अगर आप बिजनेस में हो और अगर आपको लॉसेस या बिजनेस में फेलियर होता है तो सबसे बड़ा समय आपको लर्निंग मिल जाता है, समय के साथ आपको लर्निंग मिल जाता है, एक्सपीरियंस गेन करते हो। बट जो सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम आपको फेस करना होता है वो होता है आपका लॉस, फाइनेंशियल लॉस। एक बिजनेसमैन अगर फेल करता है तो उनको लॉस कहीं ना कहीं से होता है, चाहे वो डेप्ट में चले जाएंगे, लोन उनका आउटस्टैंडिंग हो जाएगा, वो कर्ज में चले जाएंगे, वो लॉस सबसे बड़ा होता है। कहीं ना कहीं मैं भी गया था, और आज भी मैं कोप अप करके चीजों को बहुत अच्छे से कर रहा हूँ। तो क्या हुआ कि जब बिजनेसमैन लॉस में जाता है और उनको रीस्टार्ट करना होता है, तो बहुत सारा छोटा छोटा चैलेंजेस होता है जो उनको फेस करना पड़ता है। मैंने अपना जर्नी मोमो वाला का ऑफिशियली स्टार्ट किया था 15 जनवरी 2024 को, एक बेसिक स्टॉल से जो कि 15,000 में बनता है, सिंगल स्टॉल से, जो कि मैंने 4 स्टॉल का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किया था, वो भी अपने फ्रेंड से, कि 4 स्टॉल मैं स्टार्ट करूंगा, एक सर्टेन अमाउंट मुझे लोन चाहिए। तो मैंने वैसे स्टार्ट किया था, और आज 16 स्टॉल है जिसमें सारे फ्रेंचाइजी है, वो 4 भी हमारे हैं। हमने समय के साथ उनको रिनोवेट किया। आज मुझे लगता है मेरा एक स्टॉल का कीमत 45,000 है, जो कि बहुत अच्छा क्वालिटी का होता है, हर कुछ होता है उसके अंदर। और कहीं ना कहीं बिजनेस में क्या है कि फेलियर आपको लर्निंग देता है, एक्सपीरियंस देता है, सिचुएशन से कोप अप करने का सिचुएशन देता है। रेकला मेरा जो स्टार्टअप था, मुझे उससे सीखने को बहुत कुछ मिला, उसके फेलियर से। मुझे स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम के बारे में जानने मिला, मुझे इन्वेस्टमेंट कैसे रेज करना है, वीसी फंडिंग, एंजल फंडिंग, सब कुछ, क्योंकि हमने रेज भी किया था फंड। मैं मुंबई में भी रहा था, मेरे बहुत जान पहचान के इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकर भी है। तो स्टार्टअप में क्या है कि फेलियर आपको मिलेगा, और फेलियर इज नॉट द अपोजिट ऑफ सक्सेस, इट्स द पार्ट ऑफ सक्सेस। ये मेरा व्हाट्सएप पे स्टेटस भी है। तो फेलियर इज गुड, आप अगेन ट्राई कीजिए, फेल बेटर, अगेन ट्राई कीजिए, एंड यू विल सक्सीड वन डे। तो कोई मूल मंत्र नहीं है सक्सेस का, ट्राई एंड ट्राई एंड ट्राई एंड ट्राई। आपको कभी ना कभी सफलता जरूर मिलेगी। आपको लगे रहना होगा, संघर्षशील होना होगा, प्रयत्नशील होना होगा, और कंटिन्यूअस रहना होगा अपने गोल के प्रति, डिटर्मिनेशन। बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस आएंगे आपको, छोटा मोटा चैलेंजेस काफी आएंगे। you have to and stick to your plan, stick to your business, vision, everything। और धीरे धीरे आपको रास्ता भी दिखते रहेगा। लिटरली मैं बताऊं तो मुझे बहुत ज्यादा नहीं पता था, मैंने स्टार्ट किया। आज का डेट में जो मुझे क्लैरिटी दिखता है फूड इंडस्ट्री का, वो क्लैरिटी मुझे 6 महीने पहले नहीं था, और आने वाले 1 साल के बाद जो मुझे क्लैरिटी रहेगा वो मुझे आज नहीं है। तो आप अगर काम करते रहेंगे, आपको रास्ता मिलते रहेगा, चैलेंजेस आएंगे जाएंगे, यू हैव टू स्टिक टू योर विजन, योर मॉडल, और लिटरली आपको सफलता जरूर मिलेगी। मैंने मैंने अपने फेलियर से बहुत कुछ सीखा है, और मैं फेलियर को हमेशा प्राउड के साथ बताता हूँ कि या आई हैव फेल्ड बिकॉज आई हैव ट्राइड। मैंने कोशिश की, इसलिए मैंने फेल किया। तो ये सब मेरा है कि अगर आप स्टार्टअप करते हैं तो तो आपको नो डाउट ये सब माइंड में रखना होगा। और हाँ, ये जो इनिशिएटिव है आपके तरफ से, ये मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा कि ये ऐसा कनेक्शन, एक नेटवर्क आपने बिल्ड किया है, विच इज़ वेरी गुड, और बहुत रेयर है झारखंड में। हेड स्टार्ट करके एक चैप्टर चलता था, उसमें हम लोग ज्वाइन थे। फिर एक रांची में ओपन कैफे करके है, वहाँ भी हम लोग हैं। तो आई एम एक्टिव इन मेनी ग्रुप्स ऑफ स्टार्टअप्स, और इसमें मैं पहला बार कनेक्ट हुआ, और या इट्स वेरी नाइस। अगर आप कुछ और पूछे तो बताएं।
Sure. Shravan, sir, do you have any questions?
Anyone from the audience, if you have any questions, you can unmute and speak. Firdaus, Sania, Arunima, no questions? None? Okay. I guess we are clear to you.
Okay, fine. All right. Thank you, Mr. Kunal. It was such a wonderful speech. And thank you for sharing the tips. Please share your email address in the chat box. If any of our audience has any questions, they can reach out to you. Yeah. As we come to the close of this remarkable conference, we would like to express our heartfelt appreciation for each and every one of you. The knowledge shared, the insights gained, and the connections made have all contributed to the success of this event. We are truly grateful for your participation. As we wrap up this conference, we kindly request all attendees and speakers to take a moment to provide their valuable feedback and reviews on Google Meet. Your input and thoughts are highly appreciated as they help us to improve future events and continue delivering high quality conferences. Thank you for your participation and for being an integral part of this remarkable conference. We look forward to your reviews and hope to see you all in Conference 4.2 tomorrow as well. Until we meet again, stay inspired, keep dreaming, and continue to strive for excellence. Thank you all and farewell for now.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.